What's up, everybody? This is Steven with Snaketuary again. What I want to do in this video, I want to go a little different route. I've really got to give a lot of shout out and a lot of thank yous to my lovely wife, Patricia. She's been very, very supportive, and without her, Snaketuary would not be where it is today. She's been real supportive. She's allowed me to do a lot of things with Snaketuary. She's helped me out a whole bunch, and so I've got to give a big shout out and a big thank you to my lovely wife, Patricia. And so what I want to do in this video, I want to let her share a little bit about some of her experiences with Snaketuary and talk a little bit about, you know, what she's had to go through and some of the little calls that she's had to go on. So Patricia, go ahead and tell us a little bit about what we got going on here.
Well, it was during the day and I had a snake call. A lady called me. She said that a rat snake, that just like this one, was eating all of her chicken eggs. And what I did was I went out there and I noticed that it was a rat snake and it was eating all the eggs. Well, I went over there and I picked up the snake. Well, if I didn't pick up the snake right away, then the husband said that he would have killed it. Well, the husband had a shotgun in his hand and I didn't want the snake to be, killed. And the whole family were excited and shocked that I picked up the snake. Well, I had my kids right behind me, and they picked up the snake and they put it in the bag for me. A second snake call that I went on was the Shreveport Fire Department. It was at 12 o'clock at night, and they called me and they said that there was a snake in a lady's house beside her dryer. And they said it was big and black. Well, that could be anything. So what I did was I went over there to this lady's apartment, and I found out that it was just a rat snake, just like this one, but a little bit bigger. Well, the rat snake, all I did was I went over there and I picked it up and I put it in a bag and then I went home. The fire department was very grateful and they were really shocked and they were all taking pictures. And
Tell us a little bit about the family, though. When you went over there, tell us about the family. Where was the family? Well,
the family, I was wondering where the family was. All I saw was the fire department and I didn't see the family. And come to find out, the family they locked themselves in the back bedroom, and they said they weren't going to come out and the snake was gone. Well, what I did was I picked up the snake and I showed it to them and I said, the snake's not going to hurt you, it's not going to harm you. And then they shut the door, they slammed the door and they locked it. They said, well, we're not coming out until you leave. I said, okay. So I left, and that was my 2 snake calls.
Yeah, she's been on several calls for me. There's a lot of times that I can't always go on a call, and so she has to go on a call for me. And one thing that we like to do is we kind of like to make this a family affair. You know, Snaketuary is about the family, and a lot of times, we'll take our kids with us on these snake calls. And, it's funny to us sometimes when people get all freaked out and scared over a snake. And that's one thing I really love about my wife and my kids is when they help me out on these snake calls is it's funny to us when we go on a snake call and, my wife or my kids just go over there and pick up the snake. We've got the fire department calling us at 12 o'clock at night. The fire department's real scared, and the firefighters are freaking out over a snake, and my wife just goes over there and picks it up, and then they're all over there taking pictures and freaking out. Or we go over there and the family's freaking out and they see my wife or my daughter go over there and just pick up the snake, and they just think that's totally crazy and totally wild. And it's funny to us, a little bit, seeing that the reactions of the different people. But one thing that's real important to us is getting people over that fear. People have that fear of snakes and they're all scared of snakes. Well, one thing that we really like to do, and one reason I really like to bring my wife and my kids to these calls, is to show people, hey, snakes aren't something to be scared of. You shouldn't live in fear. You shouldn't have that fear of snakes. You shouldn't live in that fear. And we try to get people to overcome that fear. And that's why I love my wife for doing this. She's not fearful of these snakes. She is cautious sometimes, especially with the venomous stuff. She's helped me catch some venomous snakes. My kids have helped me catch them, but we're real careful with it. We're not haphazard with it, but we help people get over that fear of snakes. Let them know, hey, snakes are a good part of the environment. They're here for a reason, and we don't want people to live in that fear. You shouldn't live in that fear, and that's one thing that we try to get people to overcome that fear, and that's why we educate people about snakes, about the importance of snakes. And that's one reason why I take my wife and my kids on all these calls, on the educational presentations that we do, to let people know that, hey, these snakes are okay. They're not out to get you. They're not out to hurt you. And even my lovely wife, a woman, you know, even a woman that, you know, can handle these snakes. You know, you see all these grown firefighters, you know, these grown men that are supposed to be all macho, scared of the snake, and then you get my wife in there, you know, picking up the snake. And again, like I said, it's funny, but also at the same time, we want to get people over that fear. And that's why I love my wife. I love that she's been really supportive and really helping me out on these calls. There's been several calls we've gone on, you know, snakes inside people's trees. You know, they crawl in a hole in a tree, and we've got to, you know, make that hole bigger and reach in there. You know, my wife's not scared to reach her hand in there and grab a snake, you know, and, you know, to go on the calls without me. You know, she's real brave, and she's really awesome, and I really appreciate her helping me out on these calls. And again, you know, shout out to my kids too, you know, because they help me out. It's funny seeing my young kids go in there and grab a snake, you know, and these people are scared. And like my wife said, these people were locked in the back bedroom and we're not going to come out of the bedroom until she left, you know. And we get a lot of funny calls, you know. We get, you know, these big rat snakes like this. We get a lot of calls with these rat snakes, you know. I've pulled one out of a dishwasher before, and everybody's got axes and shovels and everything else, you know. They're ready to kill the snake. They're all freaked out about the snake, and then I pull it out, and then everybody wants to pet it, play with it when they see me holding it. So, you know, we get a lot of calls, you know, a lot of different calls, a lot of people scared. We try to educate them, get them over that fear, and I think that helps out a lot, you know, having an awesome wife that's very supportive, you know, that really goes out there and shows people, hey, even a woman, you know, even a girl can catch these snakes, you know, and it's really great. So again, you know, I want to say thank you to my wife. You know, she's been really awesome, really supportive, and she helps me out a lot with the snakes, you know, with taking care of them and feeding them and things like that. So thank you again. And again, this is Stephen with Steve Snaketuary, and we'll see you guys next time.